Beretta 21A. I wanted to wait for the Wasp to show up for this review. Wasp being a suppressor that's an obligate wet wipe suppressor from Thompson Machine, which is about the size of a tube of chapstick, to show up. Hasn't shown up yet. Probably won't for a while. Thank you, ATF. But also thank you, Thompson Machine, because Thompson Machine, apparently, they take your money up front and then they wait a couple months before giving you a serial number. Rather than on the Wasp, there is no threading on the tube. It's literally just a tube with the serial number on it. They still waited quite a while before, again, several months before actually giving us the number so we can file the paperwork. Not impressed with the company. Sure hope the product is better. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this. This is a Beretta 21A. Beretta just recently retooled and started making these again after a move and a bit of an absence. You can find them. And just like the NA Mini Revolver, which you saw in the last review, I do recommend these. I like them, but it's important to understand it's a very specialty thing. You only use it for certain things. The first thing I will say is, despite the fact that this looks like a relatively normal pistol, it's not, and you have to learn basically a whole new manual of arms and how to operate it. Because, while technically it does have a slide that cycles back, there are a number of odd things, including it's blowback operated, which is not unusual, but you'll note there is no extractor. Little known fact, you don't need an extractor in any blowback handgun. Well, somebody will come up with an exception, but in essence, the way blowback works is it's the casing that drives the slide rearward. So why do you need an extractor? You need an extractor to pull either a case that is stuck out, or to pull out a round which is live, or something else like that. This doesn't have that, so it's dependent on the blowback functioning to get that casing out. If it stays in the chamber, and sometimes that happens, you use a spent case to go in under the feed ramp and pry that out. And the way you do that, which sounds like a hell of a thing, this little thing, you press, it pops open, and there's your chamber. Focus, you fuck. So there you go. And it closes again like this. This pistol is a little interesting in its history in that it was considered cutting-edge carry safe around the time a Glock came out. You know, a few years ago, shall we say. And as a result, it has a lot of features which we now consider a little outdated, and some people would argue makes it not, strictly speaking, safe enough for carry. But it's probably, I wouldn't tell you to do it for liability reasons, but it's probably actually fairly safe. It has stop on the hammer, has traditional manual safety, although this only blocks the trigger. You can carry it, or you can do whatever, barrel open, so you don't have to run it loaded chamber. And if you can see, focus, has a rebounding firing pin, which is sprung, so that even if the hammer is down, it will not sit on the back of the casing. Will an impact set it off? I did, with spent casings, do a few gentle impact tests to see if I could get good indentation marks on the back of the casings. I did not. Does that make you feel comfortable carrying it? You should perform your own safe tests and see what you get from that. Magazine release is down here, and I think it technically holds, what, 8 or 9, something like that. It holds quite a few, but you only really load it to 6 if you want it to run reliably. Just throwing that out there. And yeah, really, this pistol, you might ask why the hell I'm showing it, and especially why the hell am I showing it with a big suppressor. This is effectively the smallest suppressor host you can get your hands on readily. And so combine this with the Thompson Wasp, which was made just for this, and this was made by, what is it? TheSilencerStore.com, something like that. X Products Tactical, the company that actually came out with the first commercial shotgun suppressor in the United States, I believe. not Silencer Co., who claims they came out with the first, but not only were they not the first, they weren't even the first to market. But yes, they are now stocking these barrels with the threaded adapter on them, which is very convenient if you own one of these. The price is about, I think it was $120-ish, and it did need to be gunsmith to go in. This little catch here had to be modified. This gun, this pistol, is from an era before Glock, and this is one thing we should thank Glock for, before Glock really standardized parts so that, you know, your armorer's tool singular, is basically a glorified pen cap that you can use to push out some pins. This is before that time where guns were actually gunsmithed, and so if you change parts, gunsmithing may be required. That said, it's a great little pistol. You should practice with it because it requires practice, and yeah, it's kind of its own whole thing. As for accuracy, you can reliably, 10 out of 10, plug those targets, one of which I believe is a 5-inch, the other is like maybe a 3x8, 4x8, something like that. Both are about the size of a kill zone. You could say they're both a little bit smaller than somebody's head. You can 10 out of 10 plug them with this pistol. The sights, which are not very useful, particularly with a suppressor on, are not correctly aligned for that. But you can find your hold and do that, and that's worth something. At the 100, 12 by 21 torso, you can hit it. Maybe 1 in 15, 1 in 20. How stable the bullets are out there, I don't know. How much energy they have, probably not much. So, yeah. But, again, the smallest suppressor host, for people who think that kind of anti-establishment entertainment is giggle-worthy, this is that. And at that, it's pretty good. I will also note, this will fit a lot of holsters made for, you know, your typical small semi-automatics, like your Kel-Tecs and what have you. So, while you're not going to find something custom fitted for it, you can find something that it'll fit. And it'll carry, even with a suppressor, real easy on the ankle. Again, would not recommend that. Perform your own tests, use your own judgment about if you'd carry it and in what condition you'd carry it. But yes, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you at the next video.